You didn't stumble into this life by mistake, Libra. Every breath you take was chosen. Every tear that has ever fallen from your eyes was written into the script of your becoming. There is nothing random about your existence. Not the time you were born, not the family you came through, not even the struggles you've endured. Before you took your first breath, your soul stood before the divine and said, "Send me." And heaven replied, "Then you shall go, not to be lost, but to remember who you are." You didn't arrive here as an accident. You arrived as an answer to someone's prayer, a light to someone's darkness, a reflection of balance in a world that has forgotten harmony. There are moments you felt misplaced, moments you've looked at your life and wondered, why does everything feel so unfamiliar? But deep inside, your spirit knows. You were sent here on assignment. The pain that tried to destroy you was only shaping you. The loneliness you endured was a sacred classroom, preparing you to walk with peace even when no one understands your heart. Every closed door, every delay, every unanswered prayer, none of them were signs of rejection. They were divine timing guiding you toward purpose. So before we continue, take a moment and say it aloud, or write it in the comments. I was chosen for this journey. Let heaven hear it. Let the universe record it. Let your soul agree with it. Because tonight, Libra, this is not just another message, it is a remembrance. A remembrance of why your spirit came to earth. A remembrance of why your life feels so intense, so layered, so full of meaning. It's because every single event, the joy, the betrayal, the waiting, the awakening, was part of your sacred script. Nothing has been wasted. Not a single chapter. The timing of your pain, your love, your victories, all of it has been perfectly arranged before your first heartbeat. You are here, not by coincidence, but by divine design. So stay until the end, because by the time this journey is complete, you'll no longer ask, "Why me?" You'll stand in quiet awe and whisper, "Now I remember who sent me." Long before your name was ever whispered on earth, Libra, there was silence in the heavens. A sacred stillness before the beginning, when souls gathered in light and destiny was written in stars. And in that stillness, your soul stepped forward. The universe looked upon you and saw something rare. A heart built for balance, a spirit woven with both gentleness and strength. You were not chosen for ease, you were chosen for purpose. The universe saw in you a soul that could endure imbalance without losing grace, a being that could stand in the middle of chaos and still remember peace. You didn't come to float through an easy life, you came to restore alignment where there was none. Before you ever took your first breath, you made an agreement. Your soul whispered, "Send me where peace is needed." And so, you were sent into a family that would test your patience. You were placed in a world that often forgets compassion, so that your very presence would remind others how to love. You were born into moments that felt too heavy for your shoulders, because the universe trusted that you would turn pain into purpose. You were not sent here to escape darkness, you were sent to illuminate it. You came to walk through the fog so others could find their path by following your light. Every choice, every delay, every closed door, every person who misunderstood your heart, none of it was random. They were all threads in the design of your becoming, part of the celestial contract you made before you arrived. You see, Libra, before birth, your soul was shown glimpses of what this life would hold. The laughter, the heartbreak, the loneliness, the triumph. And still, you said yes. You said yes to the lessons that would mold you. You said yes to the storms that would cleanse you. You said yes to the pain that would shape your empathy. You knew this journey would not be simple. You knew there would be moments where your own reflection would feel like a stranger, where love would wound you, and where silence would become your greatest teacher. But you also knew that through it all, you would awaken something eternal. The ability to find beauty where others only see brokenness. So when you ask yourself, why was I born into this life? Why this story? Remember this, you chose it. Not out of suffering, but out of service. Because the universe needed a soul that could bring peace into divided places and balance into hearts that had forgotten how to hope. And that is why your journey has been both heavy and holy. Every imbalance you've faced has been an invitation to bring things back into harmony, within yourself and within others. Every experience has been part of the divine equation that your soul agreed to solve. So no, Libra, you are not a tourist in this world. You are an architect of balance. You are the one sent to rebuild what chaos has broken. The one who turns confusion into clarity, sorrow into strength, endings into new beginnings. And though the road has been uneven, it was never without reason. Your story was drawn before time began, and every moment of it still leads you closer to the promise you made before you were born. Have you ever wondered, Libra, why your life seems heavier than others? Why your heart feels like it can sense everything? The sadness behind a smile, the tension hidden in laughter, the pain behind silence? It's because you were designed differently. Your sensitivity is not a weakness, it's your compass. It's the quiet tool the universe placed within you so that you could feel what others overlook, understand what others ignore, and heal what others cannot see. Where most see coincidence, you feel divine timing. Where others see endings, you sense transformation. And where others see loss, you see the hidden hand of God guiding you toward something higher. Your soul was made to experience the contradictions of life. Love and heartbreak, gain and loss, chaos and calm. Not to destroy you, but to teach you the sacred art of balance. You are the scale, Libra. Not just in symbol, but in spirit. Your heart weighs everything it touches. Every word, every emotion, every moment. And though it often feels like too much, this weight was never meant to crush you. It was meant to awaken you. Every experience you've lived through has been a weight placed upon your scale. The joy that lifted you taught you gratitude. The sorrow that bent you taught you compassion. The betrayal that broke you taught you discernment. Each emotion, each season, each challenge has been shaping your inner balance. When you were abandoned, the universe was teaching you how to stand in your own light without leaning on borrowed strength. When you were overlooked, it was training your soul to recognize your worth without waiting for applause. And when you finally chose peace over approval, when you stopped explaining yourself to those who never wanted to understand, that was the moment your spirit began to glow. You were never meant to numb your emotions or run from them. You were meant to experience them fully, to let them move through you like waves and leave wisdom behind. Because Libra, your emotions are sacred messengers. They are not storms meant to drown you. They are tides meant to carry you toward truth. Every feeling that passes through you serves a higher purpose. Your sorrow teaches humility. Your compassion heals others quietly. Your heartbreak cracks you open just enough for the light to pour in. And your joy reminds you that even after the darkest night, your spirit still knows how to rise. So if your life has felt heavy, it's not because you're cursed. It's because you're chosen to understand the weight of being human. You are here to feel deeply, to walk through the full spectrum of emotion, and to turn each experience, both the beautiful and the painful, into wisdom that balances the world around you. Because Libra, when you balance pain with understanding and sadness with gratitude, you don't just heal yourself, you heal the collective energy around you. That is the silent power of your existence. And one day you will look back on every moment that once felt unbearable and realize it wasn't breaking you. It was refining you. It was making your soul stronger, softer, wiser. This is the weight of experience, the sacred task your spirit agreed to carry before you were born. And through it, you are learning the most divine lesson of all. That peace is not found in the absence of pain, but in the harmony you create when you choose to keep your heart open anyway. Every person who has crossed your path, Libra, came with a reason, a divine purpose woven into the story of your becoming. Some arrived to bless you, some to bruise you, but all were sent to awaken you. That friend who vanished without warning, they were your teacher in detachment. They taught you that love does not always come with permanence, and that letting go can be just as sacred as holding on. That lover who couldn't stay, they were your mirror, showing you the love you were meant to give yourself. They reflected your unhealed places, your needs, your wounds, and your worth. And that stranger who spoke kindness to you when you felt unseen, they were an angel in human form, a quiet reminder that heaven still watches over you through ordinary faces. No meeting in your life was ever wasted. No heartbreak was ever meaningless. Even those who hurt you, those who lied, those who misunderstood your intentions, they all played their part in shaping you into the soul you are now. Because, Libra, life is not a collection of random connections. It's a divine network, a tapestry of souls, each thread connecting you to a lesson you were destined to learn. The universe doesn't send people by accident. It sends them on assignment. And whether their presence lasted years or only a few fleeting moments, they were exactly who you needed at that point in your evolution. Some people were sent to remind you of your light. Others were sent to show you your shadow. Some came to hold your hand through storms, and some came to show you how to walk alone. Each one revealed a different version of you. The compassionate one, the patient one, the broken one, the strong one. And through them all, you discovered that love in its purest form is not about possession. It's about revelation. Even those who betrayed you, Libra, were not your enemies. They were instruments of awakening. For how else could you have learned forgiveness that runs deeper than words? How else could you have discovered that divine love is not about who stays, but about what remains inside you when everyone else leaves? It's through pain that you learn empathy. It's through loss that you learn gratitude. And it's through the people who challenge you that you learn who you really are. So when you think back to the ones who entered your life and the ones who left, understand this. Each encounter was perfectly timed. Some souls were meant to walk with you only for a season, to teach you one sacred truth, and then move on. Others were meant to stay and remind you of eternity. The kind of love that doesn't demand, but simply exists. You see, Libra, your soul doesn't collect people. It collects lessons. It gathers wisdom through connection. And even when it hurts, it's growing, expanding, remembering its divine nature. The universe handpicked every soul who has crossed your path, not to distract you, but to direct you. Some led you to joy, some led you to pain, but all of them led you back to yourself, because that's what this life is about. Remembering your wholeness through the reflection of others. And when you finally understand that every person was sent with purpose, you no longer hold resentment, only gratitude. You begin to bless even the ones who broke you, knowing they were part of your awakening. Every meeting, every goodbye, every smile, every tear, it all shaped you. It all brought you closer to balance. And as you continue this journey, Libra, remember this truth. The universe never sends you people by mistake. It sends you mirrors to remind you of the light that has always lived within you. Pain has been your uninvited teacher, hasn't it, Libra? You never asked for it, and yet it kept showing up, through friendships that faded, through love that slipped away, through moments of silence that felt endless. But listen carefully. Your pain was never a punishment. It was a language, a sacred whisper from the universe, teaching you what your soul came here to learn. Behind every heartbreak was the divine hand rearranging your path. Behind every loss was a redirection toward something more aligned with who you truly are. And behind every lonely night, when you thought you were forgotten, there was heaven working quietly, shaping the next chapter of your story. When you cried, you weren't falling apart. You were being rewritten. Each tear carried away what no longer served you, cleansing the old energies that had kept you small. When doors closed, they weren't rejecting you. They were releasing you from spaces that couldn't contain your growth. The universe saw what you couldn't see yet. It knew which people, which places, which dreams would one day hold you back, and so it removed them, even when your heart begged for them to stay. It hurts, doesn't it? To be stripped of what you love before you understand why. But pain, Libra, has always been part of your awakening. The universe protects Libras in mysterious ways, by taking away what their gentle hearts would never release on their own. Because your heart is loyal, sometimes too loyal. You hold on to people and memories far longer than you should, not because you are weak, but because you see potential, you see light, you see what could be. And so, when life begins to pull those attachments away, it feels cruel, but it's sacred. Later, when the dust settles and you look back, you'll see the design behind it all. How every painful goodbye, every ending, every silent lesson formed part of a perfect pattern. Like sacred geometry, your suffering was not random. Every sharp angle, every twist, every turn was leading you toward balance. What felt like destruction was actually divine construction, shaping your character, refining your vision, and deepening your compassion. Your pain was never wasted. It was the blueprint for your peace, the foundation on which your future strength would be built. It broke you open, not to destroy you, but to allow light to enter places that had been closed for too long. And those tears you thought were just sadness? They were sacred ink. Heaven used them to write your destiny. Each tear carried the story of transformation, from innocence to wisdom, from heartbreak to healing, from survival to serenity. You may not have seen it while you were inside the storm, but everything that hurt you was helping you. The betrayals made you wiser. The losses made you grateful. The loneliness taught you to find comfort in your own spirit. Every ache prepared you for something greater. So now, when life brings pain again, and it will, remember this: you are not being broken, you are being balanced. You are not being punished, you are being positioned. Because the universe has always known what you were destined for, even when you didn't. And in time, you'll see that the same pain that once made you question everything will one day be the reason you understand everything. At some point, Libra, something inside you shifts. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start whispering, "Thank you." Because suddenly, what once felt like chaos begins to make sense. You start to see that every detour, every delay, and every heartbreak wasn't meant to destroy you. It was divine direction, guiding you toward the version of yourself you were always meant to become. You begin to realize that the universe never forgot you. It was simply preparing you, preparing your heart to recognize peace, your eyes to see truth, and your soul to remember why it came here in the first place. The moment you stop chasing balance and start embodying it, that's when your mission truly begins. Because balance is not something you find, Libra, it's something you become. You were born to experience contrast so that you could teach clarity. You were born to walk between worlds, the physical and the spiritual, so that others could see how peace can exist in both. Your purpose is not about grand gestures or loud victories. It's found in the quiet strength of your heart, in the way you listen, in the way you forgive, in the way you choose kindness even when life has been unkind. Your energy calms storms. Your presence brings order to confusion. And that is your power, not to control the world, but to harmonize with it. You are not late, you are not behind. You are perfectly synchronized with your divine design. Everything you've been through, the waiting, the wandering, the wondering, has all been preparation. Your soul moves by divine timing, not by human clocks. And once you embrace that your timing is sacred, the weight of comparison begins to fall away. You stop looking at the paths of others wondering why they seem further ahead. Because you realize you were never walking the same road. You were on a path written uniquely for you, filled with moments that would activate your memory, your empathy, your faith. You weren't meant to arrive when they did. You were meant to arrive when destiny was ready to receive you. This is the awakening, Libra. The moment you remember that you are not a victim of life, you are the artist painting it. Every color you've used, joy, pain, love, loss, has been part of your masterpiece. The darker shades gave your story depth, and the light gave it hope. Your life is not a mistake of strokes and smudges. It's a divine creation still in progress. You are now awakening to the truth that your experiences were not meant to defeat you, but to define your mission. They were the sacred training that taught you compassion without weakness and wisdom without pride. You are learning that peace is not something you wait for. It's something you create within yourself and carry wherever you go. And from this moment forward, Libra, your journey is no longer about searching for meaning. It's about living it. Every breath, every word, every act of kindness becomes part of your purpose. You came here to remind the world what harmony feels like. You came here to be the gentle voice in the noise, the calm within the storm, the balance that restores hope. So don't rush. Don't doubt. You are right where you're meant to be. Your purpose isn't waiting for you. It's awakening inside you. Look in the mirror tonight, Libra. Not with judgment, but with recognition. Look beyond your reflection, beyond the tired eyes and quiet sighs. Look deeper, into the story your soul is telling through that face you've carried through every storm. Every scar you see is not a flaw, it's a seal of experience. Each one holds a story of survival, proof that you faced what others could not and still chose love over bitterness. Every wrinkle of worry is not a mark of aging. It's evidence that you cared deeply, that your heart stayed tender in a world that often rewards hardness. And every quiet night when you thought you were forgotten, when you cried softly into the darkness, heaven was watching. The universe was listening. Every prayer you whispered, even the ones you thought vanished into silence, was heard and recorded by light. You are not ordinary, Libra. You never were. You were chosen to carry a balance that few could hold, to live with both logic and emotion, to see beauty even in brokenness, and to keep faith even when reality didn't make sense. You are the bridge between worlds, the one who translates silence into understanding and pain into poetry. You give meaning to what others overlook. You see patterns where others see chaos, and that is why your path has been so intense. Because the universe only polishes what it plans to display. The hardships you faced were not random. They were refinement. The heaviness you felt was the weight of your purpose taking form. Each trial made your light more visible. Each loss made your empathy deeper. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. The world needs your calm, Libra. It needs your fairness, your patience, your grace. You are the quiet reminder that peace is not weakness, and compassion is not naive. Your energy restores harmony to the hearts of those who have forgotten what balance feels like. You are not here to be loud. You are here to be steady, to show that strength can whisper and truth can comfort. You didn't come here to fit in. You came here to remind others what divine balance feels like, to show through your life, your words, your presence, that light still exists, even when the world feels dark. So when you stand before that mirror tonight, don't see a person who's tired. See a soul that's timeless. See the reflection of everything you've overcome, everything you've healed, everything you've become. You are the living proof that even the most fragile heart can carry the weight of heaven and still shine with grace. And that, Libra, is your true reflection. Not just in the glass before you, but in the hearts you've touched, and the peace you've restored wherever your light has reached. So Libra, if your life has felt heavy, uncertain, or too complex to explain, pause for a moment and breathe. Because none of this has been by chance. You didn't come here by accident. You were sent. Every trial you faced was a teacher dressed in disguise. Every loss that broke your heart was really a liberation, setting you free from what your soul had outgrown. And every delay you wrestled with, every not yet, and every closed door was a divine redirection, gently steering you toward the path written for you since before your first heartbeat. The script of your life was never random. It was written with precision, timing, and love. And through it all, you have been playing your role with extraordinary grace, even when you didn't realize it. So before this message ends, I want you to type these words again in the comments and seal your alignment with the truth of your destiny. I was chosen for this journey. Write it not as a hope, but as a declaration. Because when you speak it, the universe echoes it back. Your story isn't a mistake, it's sacred. Every page, every chapter, every moment has purpose. You were born to experience, to evolve, to elevate. You came here not just to survive what life brings, but to awaken through it. The next chapter of your life, Libra, will not be about survival. It will be about arrival. It will be about stepping into the peace you've been preparing for, the abundance you've earned through endurance, and the clarity that only wisdom can bring. So stay balanced, stay faithful. Even when things don't make sense, trust that they are still unfolding exactly as they should, because your journey was always written in light. And if this message spoke to your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with another Libra who might need this reminder tonight. Subscribe, stay connected, and keep walking forward with calm confidence, because your story is not ending, it's becoming, and what's coming next will make every past tear make sense.